So supercharge your life with the energy of the universe. And for this one, my intention is for helping us navigate these major shifts in energies. We can get thrown around a little bit by the energies that come in, and we forget our fundamental practices of coming into ourself and our presence and our body and our breath, and take charge of our person and our bodysuit as we navigate through the shifts in awareness, because quite often we're heightened. Either something has sped up in our experience, our creative processes, what we're planning on for personal or business. Look at that, creativity is heightened. On the other flip side of that, we could go almost like a hibernation, and we shut off from those around us. We're aggravated by those around us. We are not living in flow. Everything is coming through so fast and releasing so fast because we are up leveling. So we need to shed layers, shed patterns that are within our DNA, within our muscle tissue and memory, that when we focus on our body and our bodysuit and our wellness about self, we can release them from our body. But when we're journeying through, let's focus on a solstice, like the winter or the summer solstice we've just gone through, it's very hard to come into these fundamental practices of grounding, of presence and space that we create, because we're thrown around in this roller coaster, and we jump into the train wreck that's running through our mind and our ego mind and our patterns of what's leaving, of what is no longer serving you. You've been running it for so long, the vibration that you are accessing as your light being self has shifted. There's no space for that frequency in you anymore with that pattern or that belief. But until you actually accept it and become aware of it, you will keep getting shown it on each surge of energy throughout the year, throughout the years. So this masterclass is about bringing you back into some basic fundamentals that you can tap into through any surge of energy with equinoxes or solstices or portals. Like a then in the aftermath of when it happened. So how do you carry that energy through awareness from the energetic gateway to your daily life after that happens, before you go back to running on autopilot? You've got this masterclass to draw back on for your awareness. So let's come into noticing our body and start with that. So you're feeling your feet on the ground. You're feeling your bones, your bony structure, your skeletal system. I'm just getting information from my team, whether it's the rock beings or the dragon energy that is coming through this part of the process. So silica in the bones, silica in the earth. I believe silica from the ocean that's dried becomes opals, and one of my favorite stones is an opal. So that is quite a nice awareness if we can imagine the opalescent sensation, as well as frequency, as well as colors, as well as all that it means to you as that stone in your bony structure that is going to start activating through your bodysuit to build up with strength and clarity, and also light of earthly dimension bones. So you're bringing your awareness into your body with your bony structure of your foot, how the feet feel on the ground underneath your knees, or ankles, feet, knees above them, knees at right angles to the hips, and then the pelvis is the framework from going up and down the body. So as you're journeying through your body with a breath that is so slow and cyclic, it is comfortable for you, in through the nose, areke, and through the body, you're also that awareness of the nose, that awareness of the breath coming in through the nose, in through the facial bones, halaka terere herereke, around the cranium, around your olfactory senses. Alaka terereke, terereke, larahaka terereke, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the ears, our senses. Alaka, and that fluid or dura, the cerebral spinal fluid as well, coming down our spine and up, like is circulating. If you keep coming back to the opal and what colours you see in the opal and how the opal is, it can be quite a brittle gem, stone, mineral. So can our bones when they're not, when they're not given the exercise or they're not given the support that our muscles or the ligaments and the blood flow throughout our body through breath and the way we feel in ourselves, the way we hold ourselves throughout the day, going through past these portals, past these energetic surges. So focusing on all the little bits and pieces that I have triggered by my words to you, receiving my words and picturing it for yourself, you're just journeying through your body and building yourself up one bone at a time, and the connection and the joint structure and the messages and the experiences that you've had with that part of your body structure throughout life, throughout your formation in the womb to birthing, to moving, to growing, to living the life that you are, that your body is growing, your bones have grown, you've layered these pieces about you, your personalities, your learnings, your teachings, your understandings, your growth. So we're going to keep bringing through light, keep holding you in the body structure as it's moving and exploring with the awareness of the breath. Linking in the alchemical creation of the opal. Ocean, earth, stone. Colors, properties, frequencies. So our body structure is like linking and clicking up and forming itself. And now we've got that awareness of breath that's coming through our body like a little exploration bubble channeling through our bodysuit, going through maybe with the oxygen in the blood, lubricating the sheaths that protect our organs that go everywhere around us, the fascial tissue, building ourselves up with this web of nerve supplies, the web of venous return, the muscle and the fluids within the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments, building yourself up, body inside out, forming this awareness of yourself as a human form. Allow it to move with more awareness, more interest to where it's going in your body as these different sections of you start forming up and start building up like a bodybuilder, building up to take strength, to take use, to be exploring. So the nose, breathing in through the nose, coming up through the olfactory and around the brow, but under the like under the skull, around the brain lobes, filling that up with the inhalation and allowing it to come around our senses that are in our head, with the ears, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, around those, as in just sensing us as humans. I look at that here and filling that up, and then just flowing down around the base of the skull and around the cervical spine, the thoracics, the lumbar, the sacral, the pelvis, and then coming under the pelvis, the pubic symphysis, the pubic bone, and the inside of your pelvic bowl and the front, the anterior version of your spine, your belly, your organs, your rib cage inside the interior part of your spine, but inside your rib cage. So it's a bit strained because you expect it to come around from the back and the outside, but we're coming up the inside part of you. Halakaterereki, it's almost like giving that creative senses in your solar plexus, the halakaterere 1, 2, 3. What's that? The fourth chakra. Halakaterereki. Hayalalalakaterereki talalakai. Hayereki. The inner child, the base, the diaphragm area, inside the lungs, the inside the ribcage, your lungs and the heart, coming anterior version. So you've got the esophagus, the throat, the jaw there. And as it also came up, it also activated up your adrenal glands, your hormones in the pelvis, out and around your cheeks, the jaw, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your brow, your skin, your ears, and the outside of your bodysuit. So when you're ready, bring another deep breath in, breathing in through the nose, under between the skull and the cranium, the lobes. The oxygen's coming in around there and around that fluid and around your spine, down the spine, around under the pubic symphysis, the pubic bone, and then up the anterior version of your line, around the jaw, your mouth, your nose, your eyes. So now we're activating the inside of your mouth, the inside of your nose, the way the ears attach around the eye sockets. Keep with the breath that is flowing, and you're exploring that childlike that was awoken with your creative, your inner child's solar plexus that awoke before that one chakra, because we're wanting you to have that childlike, inquisitive nature with your breath to explore this part of your body, this awareness of your bodysuit. So now we're shifting to more like the silica from the ocean, and then the desert, and then the drying became the opal. So now we're going into the fluids, so we're coming into more ocean energies. Alakai mama ocean, dalakai nahikira, alakai de hikita nahakai, the ocean beings. Alala hakai nanahikita rahakai tariki. So we're going to bring that in awareness with our eyes and the fluid in their eyes, and the way our eye board is hung within, I think it's 5 muscles or 5 ligaments in the eye socket. And look at that attaching into the brain and different parts of the brain for the messages coming in. So if you haven't got your eyes closed, it'd be a good idea to close your eyes and relax. Just allow your eyeballs to feel heavy in the eye sockets. Okay. Your cheekbones to feel relaxed, your jaw to feel relaxed, your ears to move, because as your frontal and your cranial bones relax down and your jaw relax, your ears are going to move, and they're going to move with the muscle attachments differently, because we are prominently, like I'm a right-handed person, but some things I do with the left, but you might be ambidextrous, but we're generally stronger one way or the other, so our ears are also going to relax down differently. Which will make your jaw feel a bit unusual with tighter or moving forward, which is going to bring in some awareness to also your sit bones and your pelvis. So you might want to squeeze and release your butt muscles, move your hips, move your bottom and your pelvis in the seat, and move your toes and your feet on the ground to release through the activations that you've had so far with the bodysuit and the structures as we've laid them up and brought your awareness through your body. Okay, so bringing awareness to the eyes and allowing that with them closed, that awareness of what they feel like. They might feel like a certain age. Our body has muscle memory to ages with what we've gone through. Sometimes parts of our body has been stunted at a certain age. So the rest of the body has carried on and lived and changed and evolved with your time to date that you are biologically now. But when working with it in an energetic circuit, an energy vibration, it could be a certain age. And once we wake that up, which I guess is where the rock beings have come in to wake up these different parts to accompany them like little guardians taking care of your body until it wakes up, because everything else is woken up and the vibrations are waking the rest of your body up because things are moving differently. You're tapping into your body in a different way. So you're in your room and you can sense on the other side of the door that there's noise going on, and it's a happy sort of noise, but it's different, and you want to go and investigate, but you don't really know whether you will, and there's that slight hesitation, and that's what sometimes ages and body parts stuck in an age timeline feel like with the rest of the body moving around. So we're just carrying on with softness and awareness and welcoming that they're not going to miss the boat. They're not going to miss an opportunity. It's all here and live and flow, and they'll carry on. The rest of the body will carry on working around that part until it just wakes up enough. It could also be a little bit like a cocoon waking up enough within this to then fledgling out of that cocoon to join the rest. And once it comes up, the vibration of the bodysuit that we're activating within this transmission is going to carry it into this life, and it'll go through whatever it needs to go through to be an awareness now. It won't be missing anything. It will be activated through your lifeline to now, and you will be all one and whole. Just checking in with the team, what else we need to bring through for the body, the breath. That sigh, when we sigh, we're releasing tension from the body, and we know that to be true because when we're relaxed, we sigh it out. When we yawn, we're filling up our lungs with an involuntary action. Our brain isn't involved with it. It's involuntary. So when we do that and we're yawning, we're filling up our lungs, it's expanding them from the inside out. So you really want to practice allowing it to really sort of come out and up, sort of with the lungs out and up, and that will bring your shoulder girdle back and your scapulars back down, which will awaken back line and the back of our skull with the breath. So using the yawn to expand, breathing in through the nose and allowing it to journey through like your cerebral spinal fluid, the pleura around your bodysuit, coming down the back line, up the front. For you, it might be different. You might want to breathe in and then it goes somewhere completely different. You need to be open to change and not lead the body. And like retreat a little bit. When we're after a portal or a major circuit of energy that's come through to us, we are having to interrupt our ego. So we're having to bring in this fundamental practice of recognizing our bodysuit and our breath and alchemical creation of something else with our bodysuit. For this instance, it was the opal, and then the different beings come through. You are sort of overriding by doing a practice you're overriding your ego. And because it's something your ego's been a party of, it's going to let you do it. But then you're going to soften through. So you might start to do a practice, which is breathing in and around the back line. But for you personally, the way you function and move and work and just regular positioning of your body for it to do what you're wanting it to do on a repetitive daily action, you might channel somewhere else with your breath. So allow it to be natural to you, but you are overriding the ego, because your ego is jumping on the train wreck. It's going through the cycles of whatever the turmoil it is that's activated within you after a major energetic surge. Aloha ka terereke, and you need to know your body, because everything happens with your body. So once you do a foundational practice like what we're showing you today, you can then explore different ways that fit you with it. But you're coming in with the base of the body, build the body up, allow the breath to come through, allow your body to notice these different little idiosyncrasies about itself, awaken the inner child, and then you'll soften and be relaxed. And then your ego mind has settled a little bit, and you are now running your body. You are now in charge, not your thoughts or your actions or the trauma or whatever is awakening in you to release that you're noticing with whatever surge you're going through energetically. So when I do my practices with my body and breath, and I know that I've spiraled somewhere, it takes a good few minutes, at least 5 cycles of a yawn, for me to actually calm my mind down and be in my body. So active use of this, what we've just experienced in the last sort of 20 or 30 minutes with the body, you're going to take a good 5 minutes to get into it. And then I would suggest that you practice doing 20 minutes of body awareness, either seated. Lying down can be a bit different, but because seated, you have to be upright. You have to have some awareness of your bodysuit and feet on the ground. But then in the mornings when I wake up, I'm lying in bed and I'm prone. I haven't got the pillow under my head, and I'm just tracking my body. Look at that here. I'm moving it around. I'm tuning in with my team of who's come through to work with me to where my mindset is when I woke up on that day. I like and I can journey through the bodysuit that way. If I'm running a pattern or running, what would I say there? It's more like a spiral. It's like if you're on a train, you're fully on board the train and it is crashing, and that's where your head is going. The breath and the yawn is what will get you off the train and into your body. And once you're in the body, then you need to move, just subtle movements. It's really internal with the breath through the body, noticing the joints, noticing the reach and the range of motion you have with your bodysuit. And then you're in your body. So now we have got a practice for body. We then come into so coming into, I think my team were really wanting to do the tree energy. So we journey into alchemical creations for presence work. So calling your energy back in. You've already done your exercises with your breath and your body and your awareness. And you're using a team member, you're using an energy system. So coming the fairies are like, let us in, let us in. Yeah, so fairies have come in. Fairies for me are very forest nature. There's a family that lives nearby, here. So in this part of the transmission and the exercise, we're going to go into using the energies around you in your physical realm to allow you to feel happy with your body, your energies running through your body, which you've already activated with the grounding exercises, to then notice the distance where you are in your head out to another person or another project, and you're using a safe space in your home. I look at there like the activating your sacred space that I have a workbook on, a PDF workbook that you can access on my website, vickyandnatasha.com. And there will be a download button that you can choose there, and it will show you how to activate a sacred space. But as this transmission is a sacred space, we're going to journey into it. And as I say, with the tree energy, with the forest energy, Papatonuku is Mother Earth, with Gaia. Bring in your indigenous rooted system that you have deep within you, within your cultural aspect of what that means to you, how you access your primal wisdom of humanity and you, your person, your root, your being, your earthly experience has some framework to it. For me, it's the tree, and a New Zealander, the earth, nature, the seasons of the nature, with the seasons, with the elementals, with the earth, fire, wind, water. And then with those, they branch out like with the metals and with wood. You're a chemical creation coming in through noticing your room where you're in now. We've created a safe, sacred space, and we're going to activate a tree energy within it. And for me, I have many tree energies depending on my mood and what part of me is coming forward to be the leader in what I'm awakening to. Like, the framework of this masterclass is after an energetic surge. So that will stimulate part of you to come up as the teacher or the protector or the guider or the holder or the lover to hold you in space. So what is it that is coming through now? Okay, so I'm going to use the Pumudikawa tree because for me, she's very feminine, very sisterhood, but she's also water and land. And I just love being on land, but having seagulls and seabirds around me to know that I've got the space of the ocean. That is my divine space of being on land with a view or a vista out to sea, there's no end to it. It is universal, but in this earthly realm. And then I can access different realms through that. So we're utilizing, there may be a tree in your culture that is both, it's near waterways that you can bring forward. The Bahudikawa, for me, has got lots of, their root systems always will search for water, so they go into drains. And I laugh because my husband's a plumber. But and the land there where they go into, so this vision that I'm being shown is up north in New Zealand. And I would go out in the mornings, we were caravanning, and I would go out on sunrise with Betsy, my dog, who's passed, and my cup of coffee, and I would sit with the Pahudikawas, and there was a variety of them. I think there was maybe 7 or 8 along the waterfront, because it was like a river mouth of the ocean coming in, and the campground was around it. And I would sit, and on the land part of their root system, but they would always have this little nest I could sort of sit into and like snuggle away. And Betsy would wander around the tidal flats and search for all sorts of things that she could search for. And then behind me would be grass, there'd be land birds, but I could hear the seagulls, I could feel the ocean, I could feel the land support. And these beings would start to come forward to me, the trees would start to speak to me. So when we create these experiences in our sacred spaces at home for presence work, we are alchemically creating them, but we may have had a memory of it for it to come forward. There's also the awareness that you, after going through an energetic surge, you've up-leveled your multidimensional abilities and you're bringing through new information that is cosmic, but it needs to land. So you could not have a physical memory of a place, but when you go into your presence work and you're yawning in your body and you're being self-still for the next stage that we're in now of creating energy with a tree framework in your space, you will start to be shown these visions. And within these visions, you get to this quiet space in your body. So you're closing your eyes and you're visioning the tree, and it's not with you. It's not within your bodysuit. It's slightly off from you. And you're seeing it take form in your room. Then you're feeling the root system go through the floor, the carpet, the wood, the trunk form, the branches coming out, the foliage, building up. So all the different properties and where the tree as a being of nature has access to in such a beautiful, energetic way that the tree can talk to other trees. So when we are absorbing it into our body in this alchemical creation in our room, we then are welcomed into the tree, or the tree will come into you, and then you will be your bodysuit, your trunk will be the trunk of the tree. Your feet will be the root system going down into the earth. Your human senses, your eyes, your nose, your ears, and your mouth, and your skin and your hair will be the foliage. Receiving moonlight, receiving sunlight, receiving oxygen. Traveling through the body with the different qualities of the bark and the stories that the bark, the scarring that you might notice on a tree trunk to what it has experienced in its life with pruning or nature ripping limbs off. I like the way it's had to strengthen itself against the natural forces, just the same as our bony structures had to strengthen it against forces. We are welcoming the tree energy because it is connected to all the elemental energies, but also deeply rooted in the earth that grounds us deeply rooted into the earth. So then we can go through this other stage of our awareness as we're journeying through shifts and changes after an energetic circuit to be more open and aware and flowing without ego mind. By this stage, you've shifted from that and you are flowing as an energetic being within your bodysuit. But you've accessed a team member, you've accessed alchemical creation of the tree. You are the tree is you in your space, in your meditation room or your private sanctuary at home. So then, with your eyes closed in these states of transcendence within your bodysuit as a tree, the tree can then grow outwardly, or the vision and the experience of alchemical creations can come forward in your space. You can then get like the fairies coming through, or other animals coming through, or beings coming through. And it's all to be experienced through your bodysuit. So with your breath and awareness through your bodysuit, and you're quiet in this state of witnessing what you were shown, witnessing what you were experiencing, not as your human self, but as your spirit and human self together. And ego has been quieted. It's silent, it's happy. So this is where you release the layers and the blocks and the limitations about you, and you can leap and expand forward into your bigger version, expansive self, but you're still yourself. Alaka tēnei ki tāna hala hakai. Haya nehi ki anana hakai, alala hakai. Haya riri ki talala hakai, nenehi ki. Haya lalala hakai, tarana ki tanana ki. So when you're tuning in with the light language, the breath, the body, the hearing, the senses, what your bodysuit feels like, what your brow, your face, and your skin suit feels like, what your internal structure feels like, as well as the tree in your space in your room, you can then be shown pieces of information that you could have the conversation where you were discussing something that you're working through, because what has already gone from your bodysuit is the mental chatter, and the train wreck is gone. You're now in this state of transcendence where you are body, mind, light as creator energy, as source energy in your bodysuit. But it's your human, like my Vicki is questioning. My Vicki is growing, but she's all of her light self in her human essence is growing. That's that me, myself, and I, body, mind, light in the human. So when I go through these conversations with my team, my bodysuit is taken along for the ride as well, which is where we get muscle memory from these experiences to then tap into later once we go through another roller coaster or spiral in maybe an hour's time or tomorrow or a month. We can come back into this experience because you have accessed it through your body in awakened state. You are awake going through it. You haven't drifted off and left your body anywhere. You are taking it with you with the tree, and you are in it, experiencing it all in the now without the ego. It's happy, it's peaceful, it's occupied, it knows that you're safe. Alaka tēnei ki. So with the fairies that come through before, this is where if I'm stuck on mental chatter and strain and problems or self-deprecation, motherhood, it's you can talk to them. And with the fairies, I like to be, well, they're both. They're very loving and kind, but they're also very cheeky and mystical and troublesome. So it's depending on what I'm needing, like I say before, depending on what energy, masculine or feminine or inner child, that part of you that is holding you and guiding you through this energetic surge will dictate and bring forward the being or the energies or the pieces of information when you're in this transient state of alchemical creation with the tree in your room, in your forest. So if I'm needing to be more lighter and give myself a break and be a bit kinder to me, the fairies will be quite playful, or an archangel will come through, Jophiel will come through with nature and love and light. This is when the others start to come through and you can talk to them. And this is also when you, as I say, talk about with your team in this state, this alchemical creation, you're talking about a project or you're figuring out what your pros and cons for something. But because you're in this state of being of wholeness, you're not an ego mind. You are lighter with it. You're able to hear what your team have to say, whether it's in words, in tuning, in senses, in visions. You're going to receive it in a softer way. You will receive it in the way that you need to receive it for you to embody it. Because if you can't embody it, you're just going to keep roller coastering through these patterns. Every energetic surge, and it'll just get shown it differently each time until you get it. So with masculine or feminine energy, the masculine energy is very right-sided, active doing. The feminine energy is very left-sided. And with the tree that I chose for this transmission, even though many were coming forward to be of use, I chose the Pahudikawa, which is very feminine, but also water and land. So you put together and you be open to receive, but you sort of do need to have some direction. You're going to have some intention with it. And it is sort of boundaries, because you have chosen to be quiet and you're in this space for about half an hour or so. You want it to be a purposeful state, and you've got so much to use with these alchemical creations and pockets of awareness that you want to work on something. And what you want to work on may be different from what you are going to actually work on, depending on where, because you've shifted, and your team will show you really what it is that you need to work on. And with that, you'll be able to see it like this, sort of hovering over it as it comes in and out. I see it as like, whether it's little umbrellas or little bubbles, or recently, it was last week, it was like little cloud pockets that would hold a different story that I'm working on, whether it's positive or negative. They were sort of cloud bubbles. And when we're in this state, while you're still grounding, you're going to get a lot coming through. So it's up to you to come back through all the different stages of breath, body, light, awareness, anchoring with your tree, and then building out from that to then get in charge of the situation, but not an ego, but just a deeper sense of self is going to be in charge. And the quick firing of thoughts and synapses and pockets of information that's floating around your spheres and your energy life lights that you are touching upon in the way that you live your life now, the quieter, the ones that are not relevant, this is also the time for them to just ground and be filtered, which is where the tree comes into again. It either filters it when it comes through cosmically or universally, filters it through the foliage so that it gets activated in light frequency then, and it runs down. You are aware of it. They're pocketing around you. They're firing off, but they're not the ones you want to work with. So you let them land, and then they can go down through the earth's core and the layers of the earth, because you tree, roots, frequency. And when you tap into the roots of a tree, you learn to know that they've got this energetic communication with the other trees. So even though we're working with this, for this example, the feminine energy of the Pohutukawa tree, neighboring tree could be, for me, the totara is very masculine, so it could be the totara tree that takes it away, or it could be the water table, or it could be a different mineral in the earth. You expand with your human knowledge of earth through this, and you use all of you, because you are a being, you're a human being on earth, so you use all of it. And this is the alchemical creation. This is where you get to use it. And because you're aware and awake in your body suit, your body is remembering it, your tissues are remembering it. And because it's light bound, the frequency of lower, or where we are maybe accessing parts of ourselves that's not positive and love and light, they're a lower vibration, that gets cleared away, because we only have space in these states for light frequency beings, earthly vessel, beauty, humanity is in this space. Halakatene hiki, talalahakai, tanehiki, talalahakai, dalalahakai, tanehiki. So that also leads us into the connections of alchemical connections, not so much that it's like energetic connections to somebody else. Like you were having, could be as simple as just disagreements with your kids or your partners, or something it's to do with someone else. You have an energy thought, there's been an experience, or that you know that there needs to be an experience. This other person has their version of it. They may be aware of it and they may be not. Instead of verbalizing it with them, this is when you've gone through your state of being within self, and you are flowing with the different qualities in this alchemical creation, and you're working on a project. You've quietened down the other little bubbles, you're quietened down, but this project has a connection to another person. you can then communicate with teams, with energies, your quantum team, to that person, but you're not really going to that person. You're just going to that person's team. You're going to that person's energy. Halakatereke. And your team, you, visions, creations, talking to your team, asking their team to come forward to have a discussion about it. And you're witnessing through frequency. And frequency gets turned into energy and action through the body. But you don't want to aggravate the other side of the situation. You want to stay in your lane and your space. So you're accessing it through your team. And when you're accessing it through your team, which are always with your best version of self moving forward, they support you and they grow with you, and they also lead you in a way that's light, or that's the best version of you. They're not going to let anything negative or low vibe be communicated in this space. So it will just automatically run off you. Once you catch it, just wriggle, take a breath, and let it flow through. Let it flow through the earth. And as long as you're still in the frequency of the tree, it's going to go through. Sometimes, well, as you can see in my space here, I've got peace lilies, and they are throughout my house. Plants can cleanse it as well. So balakatereke, you're in the alchemical creation state. So it's, you're talking with your team. So it's going through the roots of the tree. It's when the reason I've got that icky part to it is because you don't want to connect into somebody else's energy and not have an earthly flow circuit happening to clear it away. Otherwise, it's going to be left in your room, and then you're going to come back and forth into your room and you're going to get it because it hasn't grounded through. That's where holding space in alchemical presence is. It takes responsibility and time to come in when you're learning these fundamental practices, to time to come in and create it. But once you've got it going and you're regular with your practices, it's a split second and it's done, because your team will be there. But to get to that stage, you need to practice it. These are muscle memory and physical things that you're doing to activate more light within your field so that you can live a better life. You can supercharge your life with the energy of the universe, which is what this transmission is all about. So coming back to working with someone else, you want to know that it's going to flow through. You're still in a state of transcendence with your body, mind, light, team to flow it through you. It's not a matter of just saying it. You're actually feeling that frequency of it grounded through. Like you're feeling now, if you tap into your brow is activated, and your lower legs, the ankles, your feet are going to feel quite held in the earth. That's because Gaia, Papatonuku, Mother Earth, has got you. You are in the earth, so it's traveling through. But when you're doing it yourself after this transmission and you're practicing it, which is where you will probably want to come into this Masterclass again and re-listen to it again and again and again until you get it. And you can also not do it my way as gospel, but do it your way with what it means to you, what it feels to you, what it feels right for you. Then you are flowing it through. You're not just accessing and then leaving an energetic vortex happening out there in your biospheres, your fields of light spiraling around you to mutate every time you tap into it. It's gone. It is through. You've got to release it out. So recapping our time together, we access the body using the opal and the silica, because the silica through the ocean, and the ocean dries up, and then the desert creates the opals. But it's also quite a soft gem, a soft stone. So that is our bony structure. We're building up our bony structure through our muscles. We're bringing the awareness of breath through the body, through the fluids of the my tree's like, we start with the tree and then you've gone back. The fluids, the sheaths around our bodysuit. the breath around our spinal column, activating the inner child, the breath, the human senses. Alaka terere hirere ki tarala hakai tarere hirere ki taranahana hakai. Ayala hakai, the breath through the body, and then the alchemical creation of the tree, activating that in your space. You're going to maybe download the PDF, creating a sacred space so that you can use that in a written form and guidance. There's also more activations on that. We've got this activation to journey through whenever you need it. I suggest you use it if it feels right for you to listen to it again and again. Use it when you are aware you've jumped into ego through these portals or gateways or energetic circuits with the solstice, the care, and you want to become more in the after flow of the solstice energies or any other energetic surge energies. You want to become more, but you're tumbled around with your ego and stories and your experiences are all messed up. That's when you listen to this. That's when you breath, body, light. You do the work, you do the breath in the body, you do the body awareness, you do your chemical creation, and you do your light experience. I look at that with communications and the external connections to somebody else or something else, but not the actual person. You're only staying in frequency and energy because that's when your team can help you. Well, as usual, it's another power-packed masterclass. Thank you for joining me live. Thank you for joining me in the archive. I would really like if you, once you received it and listened to it, that you could feed back some experiences that you understood on a different level. You clicked on something, other areas, just anything you would like to say about the masterclass, that would be fantastic. And for my mentorship programs, I have got the last part of the year, I've got a space for one more private client. So if you're interested on that, just get in touch. Thank you for being with me and for us. And we're calling in. If you feel your tree, feel your team is like coming in, the energies as you land, you're being brought out quite big, and then you're landing, feeling your feet on the ground. Ayalala hakai tanehiki. Ayaya. Ayaya. Alakai teriki. Inalala hakai tadiki tanahakai. Ayaya. Landing, exploring, that awareness for themselves. Ayaya hanahakai tanahanahakai. Ayaya. Here we go. And the circuit has closed. So thank you very much for being with me live and for watching on the archive. I am Vicki Wallace and I will see you next time. Bye.